Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're gearing up for your financial credentialing exams, you know the drill. Formula anxiety is real and time is absolutely not your friend. Today, we're going to completely eliminate that stress and build your ultimate fixed income survival guide. We're talking strictly textbook-backed strategies designed to turn you into a speed calculating machine. So let's just dive right into the big question. How do you actually solve complex bond math in under 60 seconds? Because let's be honest, successfully navigating these exams depends entirely on calculating prices and yields with ruthless efficiency. You do not have 10 minutes to noodle over a single problem. You have about 1 minute. We are going to look at the exact hacks that'll get you to the right answer fast. To get you there, we're going to build out your toolkit by covering 5 very specific shortcuts. We'll hit the bond seesaw rule, the 5-key calculator hack, quick yield approximations, duration as a volatility shortcut, and finally, how to sidestep the accrued interest trap. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the bond seesaw rule. Let's start with the absolute foundation of fixed income pricing, because honestly, this governs everything else we're going to talk about today. Before you even touch a calculator, you need to instantly know which direction a bond's price is going to move. Think of it literally like a seesaw. As market interest rates move in one direction, bond prices must move in the exact opposite direction. Why? Well, it's the only way to keep yields competitive for new buyers. Remember, a bond's coupon rate is locked in the day it's issued. So if market rates suddenly jump to 4%, but your bond only pays 3%, no one's buying it unless you drop the price. They get that 3% coupon plus a capital gain when the bond matures, bringing their total yield up to the new market rate. Conversely, if rates drop to 2%, the price of your 3% bond has to rise. Keep that seesaw visualization front and center in your mind. It's going to help you instantly eliminate multiple choice answers that move in the wrong direction. Moving right along to Section 2, the 5-key calculator hack. Let's confront the harsh reality here. Time is your biggest enemy on test day. You simply cannot afford to do things the long way. Think about the manual present value formula. It is basically a nightmare when you realize you're supposed to calculate every single coupon payment separately. If you've got a 4-year bond paying semi-annual coupons, you'd have to do the calculation 8 separate times to discount each coupon back to present value and then add the present value of the final principal. Do not fall into this trap. Hard pass. And sure, you might think, well, I'll just use the annuity formula to group the coupons together. Honestly, it gets even worse. Doing that complex math manually during a high-pressure exam is a massive time trap. One missed parentheses on your scratch pad, and your entire answer is toast. So here's the crucial pivot. Bypass the manual math entirely. You're going to use this exact 5-key sequence on your financial calculator to find the fair price of any bond in literal seconds. Here is the flow. Punch in your number of compounding periods as N, the discount rate per period as I/Y, the single coupon payment amount as PMT, the maturity value, which is usually 100, as FV, and then just hit compute PV for present value. Throw away the manual formulas. Oh, and remember the classic exam trick? For semi-annual bonds, you absolutely must double the years to get N and cut the annual coupon and annual yield in half for PMT and I/Y. Master this, and you're saving minutes on every single pricing question. Okay, Section 3. Quick yield approximations. Let's see how this builds into quickly estimating your yield to maturity when you either don't have time for complex compounding math or you just need to rapidly sanity check your calculator output. If you need a rapid manual check, keep this incredibly effective logic in mind. Yield to maturity is really just your total return over time. So if you buy a bond at a discount, say $96, maturing at 104 years, you're making $1 a year in capital gains, right? Just adjust your annual coupon interest by adding that annualized discount gain, or if you bought at a premium, subtract the annualized loss. Then you simply divide that adjusted income by the average of the purchase price and the maturity price. Look, it's an approximation, but it's remarkably accurate and will almost always point you straight to the correct multiple choice option without needing to run the full compound interest function. Next up, Section 4, duration, or what I like to call the volatility shortcut. We've got to deal with bond price volatility and how to predict those massive swings when interest rates change unexpectedly. Instead of calculating a bunch of hypothetical interest rate scenarios from scratch, just burn this cheat sheet into your memory. This is pure exam gold. Longer terms to maturity and lower coupon rates will always mean significantly higher price volatility. Think about it. forecasting farther into the future naturally carries more uncertainty. So a 10-year bond is going to swing much more dramatically in price than a 5-year bond when rates change. And a 2% coupon bond, that'll drop a lot harder than a 3% coupon bond if market rates suddenly spike. When a question asks which bond is most volatile, immediately hunt for the longest maturity and the lowest coupon. Now to calculate the exact price swing in under 10 seconds, you're going to bypass the pricing formula completely and just use the duration hack. Duration is simply a measure of a bond's price sensitivity to a 1% change in interest rates. So if your exam question says a bond has a duration of 10 and interest rates are expected to rise by 1%, just multiply 10 by 1%. The bond's price will change by roughly 10%. Combine that with our seesaw rule, rates up means price is down, and you instantly know the bond's price will drop by 10%. It is the ultimate shortcut for volatility questions.
Finally, Section 5, the accrued interest trap. For our last exam survival strategy, we need to talk about secondary market trading and the day-counting traps surrounding accrued interest, because this is where a ton of test takers just bleed easy points. If you take away absolutely nothing else from this part, remember the number 365. When you buy a bond between interest payment dates, you have to pay the seller the interest that's built up during their holding period. The trap? Test writers love to throw in leap years just to mess with your day count. Ignore the leap year. The standard industry practice and what you will actually be tested on is always to base accrued interest calculations on a 365-day year. As for counting the actual days to calculate the interest owed to that seller, you've got to remember the specific settlement rules. Bonds don't settle on the day you trade them. They settle on the first clearing day after the transaction. When you're counting your accrued interest days, start the count on the day after the last coupon payment and make absolutely sure you include the settlement day in your final tally. Get your day count right, divide by 365, multiply by the coupon, and boom, you've safely navigated the trap. All right, so these calculator hacks will absolutely find you the perfect price today. But I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought. How does the sheer uncertainty of future reinvestment rates secretly alter your bond's true yield over time? See, yield to maturity assumes you can reinvest every single coupon you get at that exact same starting rate. But what happens if market rates drop? Your coupons start earning less and your true yield actually shrinks. Understanding that reinvestment risk is really the final boss of mastering the fixed income market. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and seriously, go crush those exams.